Well, welcome. We're live.
How's it going?
How's it going? My name's Mike Crawford. I'm the host of the Young Jerks.
And
The now, let me grab this.
Please.
The now award-winning Young Jerks. And we're here at NECANN. I'm having a great time, I got to admit. I don't get out often, and I'm so glad to be here. I just want to shout it out first and foremost for this award and everything that's happening here. I want to give a shout-out to my boy, Michael Malta, the King of Pot. I was crying this morning. I really was. Grant Smith, I want to welcome you, too.
Oh, thank you for
You
having
can hold
me.
this back, too.
You know,
You're a
Mike,
part of this.
well, thank you, Mike. You know, I was about to say it's an honor to be with you. Just last night, you won this award, and it's a testament to not only what you've done in this industry, but the fact that you've done so with integrity on a consistent basis over nearly half a decade. And it speaks volumes to exactly the kind of thing we need in this world right now. And I'm very glad NECANN took the opportunity to honor you for that.
Well, thank you. I honor the whole show, too. I want to make sure that we, reference exactly what this is. I'm going to read it right off. It's this last night was the New England Cannabis Community Awards. We were up for two different awards. One was Best Podcast, which I thought we had a chance at winning. And when we didn't win, I thought there was no chance that we were going to win the second award, which had some very formidable, big-time folks that were nominated along from the Boston Globe, Dick Boston, which I'm part of as well. So we won this award, which was the Best News and Information Source 2018-19 Young Jerks. Unbelievable. I just can't believe that we won this, and the response of this community this weekend for us, and just everything what's going on Disrupt Boston. So this is an award for Disrupt Boston to Brian Murphy, Michael Doobie, Riccio, to Shonda, Monica Cannon Grant, Calvin Feliciano, everybody. I mean, Grant Smith, Tito Jackson. Like we've got a nice community here. Ed D'Souza. Who else am I missing?
It grows by the day almost. You find the best people in this industry, and they seem to flock to this show because of what it stands for. And it really is reflected in the fact that the people who come on this show are those who are speaking for those who otherwise wouldn't have a voice.
You know what's so great about it is you said, you won the award. It's not about me even, because it's this community show, because it's really this little show that could. We were up against the big competition, and it was the voters, number one, who made the difference. They voted, and we won. But the big thing is, it's like the community, it's like they're proud of this award tonight. Like, they were so happy. They were as happy as I was. Like, and there's so many of them. We could continue, like Lauren and Brianna and Warren Lynch, and you know what I mean? It's just so many people have worked on the show over the years. Dave Crespo, either Desmonds from WEMF Radio as well. Carmelita. I mean, I got to say two people first and foremost. KOP, Michael Malta, and Carmelita.
Well, you see, even when this guy and I were walking around earlier, we were just going to get some food. You don't realize how big the community is until you try to walk 10 feet, because every single person, it seems like, comes up and wants to talk about the Young Jerks, the information they learned from the Young Jerks, and it really speaks to the fact that when you focus on the community is always happy to show you that love. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
And it's beautiful that it's growing. I'm glad the competition was strong, that I didn't think we would win. Because in the past, if they had an award show 5 years ago, I think we would have won easy. Not last night. I'm surprised we won, honestly. Like, we're up against Boston Globe, This Week in Weed. They've done amazing work this week. They're doing some great work. Dick Boston, Christopher Owen.
Absolutely.
Who I'm with, and Senti Magazine.
Yep.
I mean, these are legit. So there's a lot of legit coverage happening now in the cannabis space.
It was some very intense competition, and not just that, but the competition was not freelancers doing this in their free time. That was some well-funded groups who have done some excellent reporting, and for the entire community of this show to win that award speaks volumes as to the fact that it's the information, not the money, that dictates what the community wants to pay attention to, and that's what makes this so powerful. It's a movement almost.
And it comes from the community. I learned so much from the people we have on the show, the guests, and that's the other thing I want to mention. The award is about the guests, too, the guest list. Tito Jackson, to Shonda, Shalene, Title. We could go on. Barney Frank last week, Senator Jason Lewis. we've had so many state senators. You can name some of your favorite ones.
Well, what I was going to say is it's not just the guests that come on, it's the fact that the guests that come on have actually evolved their position based on what the show has talked about. And I think Senator Jason Lewis is a perfect microcosm as to the power of what the show can do. Because if you recall, when Senator Jason Lewis first came on to the scene in terms of your attention as to his work related to cannabis, he was the primary reason why the implementation of the 2016 law legalizing cannabis for recreation was delayed by 6 months.
That's right.
It was Jason Lewis in a vote held in court over the winter holiday that year. It was him. He was the sole driver. Within 18 months, he was on the show with you and I that day,
right,
apologizing somewhat and moving forward.
And admitting he was wrong on some of it.
Indeed.
For the first time.
Indeed.
The other thing last night, too, was a very special night for me, too, because, last couple of years I'd gotten quagmire a little bit, too many beefs going on within the community. And a lot of them got quashed last night, which was awesome for me personally, because I wanted them to be. And it was a great feeling in that room. Even though not everyone gets along, but everyone was happy. You could feel it, and there's a community spirit there. But even some of the winners, let's talk about Joe Gilmore winning, their group winning, the Mass Recreational.
Yes, MRCC.
I mean, this is, we're like them in a different way. They're an organization, but we're similar to them in that we're not waiting for the corporate overlords to give us a platform or give us money. We just kind of said, we're going to do this because no one else is doing it. And now we're rising, and now we're actually getting backing, but we're not changing for the backing. We're not changing anything for the money that comes on board now. And I think the MRCC is the same example where 5 years ago they were nobody, and now they're definitely leaders in this community and young leaders. So, and it didn't come from the money. It didn't come from, the big media. It didn't come from that they were at the Globe or that they had, Fortune 500 money behind them. Just came because they decided to take it on upon themselves and cover and do the work. And I think that's my advice to any of these young kids out there that are interested in this. Don't wait for anybody. Don't even wait for a job. Just do what you do and get better at it. And you'll find more opportunity. Follow your passion. It's all been doing for the last 20 years. And last night was a big night for us.
What you speak to is so important, because if we lived in a world where moneyed groups and people with money drove every decision, it would be some hellacious landscape where every single issue being covered was just from the perspective of how to make people money. These kind of outlets, those kind of groups like MRCC, the ones with integrity and the ones who are able to work within this highly complex political space without selling out their fundamental values, inspire the entire country really to achieve this level of informed political discussion. It really is taking the country by storm. Mayor Walsh had a op-ed in the New York Times just last week and referenced Commissioner Title's work on the community level.
Another big winner last night.
Absolutely.
Shalene, just doing what she does, sticking to her guns, being authentic. Another big winner, I don't even think he won an award, but he was up for awards, and he was part of the charity event. And he's just a man. Everyone was all about him last night. Stephen Mendili.
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
Another one doing the same thing. He's just doing it honestly, doing it real. He's had such an effect this last year. He's got a program with the dispensaries that's unheard of for veterans. It's like a national model. We are actually, in the face of a lot of hurdles, we've actually done great in this community, and we're going to continue. There's so many good people. We're really happy. Grant, I want to, before we go, because we only have a limited time, we have a lot of guests today. You have a new, I've worked with you for a little while because you've been, representing patients. You're a medical patient, and you lost your caregiver with a raid, and the medical program wasn't perfect, and there's still an issue with delivery service for homebound patients, which you're often homebound because you have colitis and you have medical issues. What are you doing now? Because I see new news, and you're involved in new things. Tell us everything about it.
Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit about it. So I am a homebound patient, And part of being homebound is that my access to cannabis is facilitated by delivery services. And I think basically for as long as I've known you, I've kind of talked about how hard it is for patients with limited mobility to get access at a price level that's reasonable.
Reasonable price level.
And the problem is because the regulations for a lot of these delivery services through dispensaries put this high burden on the delivery itself, which they have to pass the cost on to patients. So I've formed a new group just in the past few weeks called Massachusetts Patients for Home Delivery. And what I'm seeking to do is basically lower the barrier to entry for smaller mom and pop operations through the CCC regulatory process and some lawmakers, and to basically remove those hurdles which would make it so that the delivery services have to charge a high fee to patients like me. And so we're trying to get the ball rolling on that, bring some patients into the fold, and it'll be interesting to see if we end up having an impact on the draft guidelines that end up coming out, which we implemented in June this year for delivery services.
Excellent. So you're talking to some of the cannabis control commissioners, I bet, or trying to reach out to them?
Yeah, actually, just this past week, I testified at the CCC's open comment session in Boston, and I actually made it onto WCVB Channel 5 of all things.
And the newspaper too, weren't you?
Oh, I did, yeah. I think they gave me a quote. I think some other people were quoted MRCC as well. But, you know, it just goes to show that if you go speak at these hearings, and you don't have to go as an organization, you can go as an individual, or you can ask people to, you know, represent your interests while they're there. You can get the ear of these commissioners. They have a lot of regulations that they're working on. They have a lot of interest groups who talk to them. And just hearing from a patient sometimes can make all the difference when they're thinking about how to structure these laws.
Awesome. Say the name of the group again.
It's Massachusetts Patients for Home Delivery.
Massachusetts Patients for Home Delivery.
MPHD.
I like that.
Well,
MPHD. That sounds good. MPHD, Mass Patients for Home Delivery. Do you have a Facebook or anything yet? Are you working on that?
Right now, just building it. If you'd like to reach out, I'm Grant Smith on Facebook. You can find me anytime, and patients should feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you for coming in. Anything else you want to leave us with today, or anything going on? Anything?
No, really, the only thing I can say is that I've met a lot of people in the media business, and I've never found a group that I've wanted to work with and enjoyed being a part of as much as this group, and I wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity.
Oh, wow. That's big from you, because I know your mom is connected. She's in the major media. Like, I don't know if you like to advertise that, but I think your mom's impressive. We had her on the show, Wendy Murphy. She's a national figure locally, and she's a great advocate. So I know you're like me. You're like media savvy, and you know a lot of people like me. So when you say something like that, I really appreciate that, and I think our group should too. Thank you, Grant. And congratulations, too, because you're part of this. You earned this award as well. Thank you.
It means a lot to me. Thank you.
So I'm Mike Crawford from the Young Jerks. We're here with Disrupt Boston on NECANN TV. And we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with some more great guests. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I love this. I've been waiting for this for so long. You don't even understand so many travails and tribulations along the way. And there will be more. And I lost my best friend 5 years ago, but he was with us last night. And everything we talked about, everything we dreamed about is coming true. And one of the things was to have this kind of network and have good people around us, where it wasn't backstabbing and jealousy and craziness. It was just steady. Everyone is so nice and focused and friendly and loving. And, everyone gets in their little beefs and disagreements at times, but we're all adults here, and this is what we wanted for a long time. And I really feel like it's Michael Malta, KOP, looking over us. So congratulations, KOP, Michael Malta. This award is you. We'll be right back from NECANN TV. Mike Crawford, Grant Smith.
See you later.